Good evening. Welcome to Geeky Discoveries, and I'm wondering where my light is. Okay, it's gonna be a darker show than usual. Um, this is weird. Okay, anyway, tonight isn't just about a director with a great resume. It's about a filmmaker who understood something very simple and very rare that people remember how movies make them feel. Rob Reiner started out in front of the camera as Meathead on All in the Family, arguing across a living room with Archie Bunker, and in a strange way, that's where his whole career begins. Watching people clash, connect, hurt, hurt each other, forgive each other, and try to be understood. When he moved behind the camera, he didn't chase trends or spectacle. Oh, I don't know how to read. I'm so sorry. He didn't chase trends. He chased moments. A group of kids walking along a railroad track, not realizing it's the last time they'll ever be that close. Two people talking through their defense until love sneaks up on them. A fairy tale that tells us without irony that true love actually matters. A writer trapped in a room fighting for not just for his life, but for his voice. Rob Reiner's films remind us that friendship ends, love changes, courage is tested, and sometimes the bravest thing you can do is simply tell the truth, no matter who's sitting across from you. There's a deep sincerity in his work. He never winks at the audience. He never tells us we're silly for caring. He trusts great writing, great performances, and ideas that honesty on screen still counts for something. And that's why these movies endure. We don't just quote them, we carry them with us. They show us when we're young, when we fall in love, when we lose friends, when we need comfort, or when we need reminding of who we are. So tonight, we're just revisiting a career. We're not just revisiting a career. We're revisiting moments that shaped us because Rob Reiner didn't just make movies. He makes places we return to. And with that, I welcome you guys to my show. I I had to do this because Rob Reiner was is and will ever forever be one of my favorite directors. And I'm sure a lot of you feel the same. Uh, a lot of his movies touched not not just touched my heart, just like the it became part of me. The Princess Bride lives forever in my brain, and will be probably one of those most quoted movies. Same with Spinal Tap, A Few Good Men. Like every one of his movies somehow gets ingrained into your psyche, and it just out of the blue, he'll just blurt out one of the lines from his movies. Um, and so, so many of his stuff still rings like still to this day, and just the filmmaking uh still is beautiful. um just some of the shots, like in A Few Good Men, I think that is a very beautifully filmed movie. um Not just because it being a court movie, uh, it just, I don't know what it is. Just it's something about his filmmaking is is beautiful, um, and he makes you care about each of the characters, even if they're evil or uh, it, you don't want to like the characters, but you are just you're just very much in tune to what's happening. Um, it sucks. I don't want to talk I don't want to talk about his actual murder because I don't want to speculate of why it happened. And it's just I'm not a true crime podcaster. There's lots of true crime podcasters that will be doing this for us. And lots of information will be coming out in the coming months, and the court case will happen. So I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to talk about it. I just want to remember Rob Reiner and his wife for who they really were, champions of human rights. Without Rob Reiner, those of you in the States wouldn't have like marriage equality. So he was that kind of person. He cared so deeply about everyone that he fought for everyone's rights. I'm gonna go to the chat because without you guys, the show wouldn't exist. Don't forget, Donna is the one that always reminds me to remind you folks to don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, folks. Hey Donna, thank you very much for coming. Dan, thank you very much for coming as well. Thank you very much, Carl. I appreciate it. Welcome here. Not a single quiver in your voice. Well, I'm so proud. Your camera shyness is leaving you alone. It's still, I think it still exists. Much like Rob Reiner, I think I am a little bit more comfortable behind the scenes, but you know, I love doing these shows, and I appreciate you guys joining me and putting up with my craziness. I didn't realize just how many of the films we watched were directed and or written by right. When Harry Met Sally, I didn't particularly like it. When Harry Met Sally, it was a good movie. I don't know, but there are some very quotable moments in that film. Maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just wasn't my type of comedy or romance movie. It wasn't particularly my favorite, but you know, there were some great moments in that film. But The Princess Bride, for whatever reason, I was obsessed with that film as a kid, along with Beetlejuice. That one, I think that one came second on if my babysitter didn't have Beetlejuice, I'm sure she had The Princess Bride. I don't know how many times I've watched that movie, but I think I watched it like almost every weekend when I was a kid. You know, and I didn't know this until tonight, actually. Castle Rock Entertainment was his creation. And he actually helped produce Seinfeld. I had no idea. But yeah, Spinal Tap, you know, A Few Good Men. Like I said in my intro, he started off in All in the Family. And his character in All in the Family is him, is exactly who he is. Um, I I'd like to know what your guys' favorite movies are, because he did several acting jobs, and uh, uh, yeah, Wolf of Wall Street, which is oddly enough a movie that I still have to watch. I haven't watched Misery yet either. I don't know what's keeping me from seeing a lot of these movies, but um, I'll definitely have to watch them. I'm gonna have to rewatch Spinal Tap because I'm not sure if I actually watched the whole thing. I know I've seen bits and pieces of it, and because of being in fandom, everybody quotes that movie, so it's almost like I have seen it already. But yeah, I just um, he was in the New Girl as the main character's father. About a boy. Um, he did produce a movie with his son, being Charlie, which I have yet to watch. Um, okay, IMDb. I don't know why you're doing that. Um, okay, IMDb is being funny right now. Start your free trial. No, that's okay. I don't need to. Uh, all right, so let's do some IMDb trivia. Uh, he was best friends with Richard Dreyfuss in high school, who he later directed in Stand By Me, which again, another great film. Um, all the films he has directed, he considers Stand By Me as his masterpiece and his favorite film. Named his production company Castle Rock after a fictional town created by Stephen King. The two have worked as a team on several movies together. Growing up, he lived right across from Penny Marshall, who he ended up marrying. Um, that was his first wife. While filming the scene in Stand By Me in which Gordy and Vern are being chased by the train, he couldn't get Will Wheaton and Jerry O'Connell to look frightened enough. So after a take, he proceeded to yell at them until he began to cry. That's actually a pretty sad. Sorry. Um, then he filmed the scene over again. That's that's kind of too much dedication to your work. That's kind of being a dick, but he needed to get that scene. I understand that. Um, best friends with Billy Crystal. Was good friends with Robin Williams and revealed he grieved over his passing away from suicide. Um, and we're grieving over his death right now. Um, I'm gonna be honest. Rob Reiner's death is it, it's it's gonna anger me for a very long time. Um, it didn't need to happen, and this is why we need to take mental health seriously. Um, we need to we need to put a push on our governments, and I say that for both the US and Canada. Um, there's some medications that should be free, and anything that helps with helping with mental health issues, that should be a necessity. His death was unnecessary and didn't need to happen. I agree with you. Not every film is going to speak to you. I agree with you on that. Uh, Even if you didn't like When Harry Met Sally, you have to admit that the camera blocking and editing were excellent. All the scenes were needed, and no extra scene. See, yeah, and like I watched like other uh romance movies, and um I have my favorites. I have one. There are ones that you know aren't particularly my favorite, but I didn't realize this, but he was in Sleepless in Seattle as Tom Hanks' best friend, which is one of the romance movies that I do enjoy. Um, I and Stand by Me. It's again one of those great movies that you watch over and over. It still stands up to this day. It's not a dated film. It's beautifully done, uh, both written wise and filmed, and just everything beautifully acted. Even for very young kids who later ends up being very good actors themselves. Um, I oh, he co-wrote the first episode of Happy Days. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Directed three actors in Oscar-nominated performances: Kathy Bates, Jack Nicholson, and James Woods. Bates won for her performance in Misery in 1990. Directed three of the movies ranked in American Film Institute's list of top 100. Love Stories in 2002. When Harry Met Sally, 98, ranked number 25. The American President, 95. I know I've seen that movie. I don't think it's very quotable, but I know I've seen it. Um, Ranked number 75, The Princess Bride. And that one's ranked number 88. Um, Received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It is next to his father's star. I didn't know that. That's cool. I actually have a picture of his star. Um, I don't think there's enough flowers, though. I'm sure they moved quite a few off. Um, Despite their antagonistic roles in on All in the Family, as Meathead and Archie, Reiner grew quite close to actor Carol O'Connor off camera. He has directed one film that has been nominated for Best Picture, Few Good Men. He also appeared in one Best Picture nominee, Wolf of Wall Street. Um, he was friends with B. Arthur and Michael Douglas. The dude, this guy was friends with everybody in Hollywood. Um, he did the Bucket List, and I actually really enjoyed that film. I know it's not one of those films that is the high mark on everybody's list, but I actually love that film. And just seeing the relationship between him and Jack Nicholson, uh, I know that there are actors who like to work with actors in a lot of their films, and seeing him work with Jack Nicholson again for the Bucket List was amazing. Good, good camera work. It is that film is fantastic. Like the guy had a vision. He knew he knew where to position the camera. He knew where to position the actors, and he knew how to get them to perform in such a way that it is heartbreaking and emotional and just real. Um, O'Connor was exactly the opposite of Archie Bunker. I know, and that's what makes that role so very well done is the fact that he is nowhere near that type of character. Um, I know that there are stories about several movies about the KKK, um, but there was one movie that I watched in theaters, and I can't imagine having to portray one of those characters in any movie and act like you mean it. That that to me would be hard to to portray. Um, but the way that the way that O'Connor did that, and as long as he did, again, like they found a way to make it feel real. Um, named "It's a Wonderful Life" as his favorite film. Interesting. Uh, Reiner spearheaded a ballot initiative in California to add a tax on cigarettes to pay for early childhood development programs. It passed by a narrow margin. Hey, Canada, I have an idea. uh, Rob and wife Michelle are the parents of screenwriter Nick Reiner, Jake Reiner, and Romy Reiner. Adopted father of Tracy Reiner, Penny Marshall's daughter from a previous marriage. His favorite sports movie of all time is Hustler. The Hustler. The Hustler. Two different things. Don't Google it. Um, yeah, that's all right. So that's some of his trivia stuff. Um, so on all of his some of his quotes on his All in the Family co-star. He couldn't have been more different from Archie Bunker. He cared about the little guy. He shone a light on bigotry and ignorance and hope. Arguably, he created a single most indelible character in the history of American television. on why his career skidded in the late 90s when he split his time between movies and politics. People kept asking me, how do you balance it? And the point is, you don't. I know now about me. I can't split my attention in that way. It doesn't work. I mean, it shows, to be honest with you, I can't do both. On producing the bucket list. This is kind of a little minefield here. You want to get the tone right for it. This is a subject that you have to deal with comically. It's still got to be funny. You want sentiment, you got some sentimentality. These are all the sidewalls you want to not fracture the picture on. Not like, and not that I don't like an easy job. I can't imagine that being easy to be a director or a producer. Stand By Me, 1986, was a unique directing experience because ideas came from everywhere. Doing a period piece about the world of a childhood, the world of childhood is an adventure. Each day on set, people from crew threw their own childhood memories into the production. On Carol O'Connor again. Carol set the tone of how we were to work on All in the Family. He was very inclusive. He allowed everybody to participate and say what they wanted. He really was a thoughtful and intelligent person who cared about injustice. Whenever we all felt, Whatever we all felt, whether it was about the Vietnam War or race issues or women's issues, those things got into the show, and he was part of creating that freedom. Uh, he even spoke out about the sexual harassment in the film community. It's not just our community. This is happening in every workplace in America. Is disgusting. Harvey Weinstein funded the documentary The Hunting Ground. How do you do that? We have to create a safe atmosphere where women are able to tell their stories. He's he's one schmuck who did what he did, but there are a lot of great people in Hollywood who don't do stuff like that, and he was one of them. Um, Stephen King's obvious reputation is a great as a great horror writer, but to me, it was always the quality of his writing, the character development and dialogue. It kind of gets overshadowed. And again, he was friends with everybody. On his infamous flop North. I love doing it, and some of the best jokes I've ever had in a movie are in that movie. I made this little fable, and people got mad at me because I had done When Harry Met Sally and Misery and A Few Good Men, and everybody said, "Oh, it should be a more important kind of movie." I said, "Why? Why can't you just make a little slice of a fable or something?" And I watched North. I thought it was a cute movie. Uh, yeah. Uh, but yeah, the without Rob Reiner's influence in filmmaking and his work with in Hollywood, I don't think we would have a film industry so much. Okay, yes, there are other directors, but uh, I don't think a lot of the the filmmakers that we have, like Kevin Smith, I don't think they would be around if it wasn't for Rob Reiner's influence on them. Um, it's hard to say, but a lot of his films stick by you, stick in your head. I was trying to find his wife's Michelle's photography work. Unfortunately, Google is all covered in all news articles. But she did, oddly enough, she did do the cover photo for President Trump's book, The Art of the Deal. Um, so that is an interesting fact. Um, I've been again. I was trying to find pictures of her work, and it it's not coming. It's not coming up, and I feel really bad for not being able to show that. Um, Trivia quotes, trademarks. So yeah, Rob Reiner was born March 6th, 1947 in the Bronx. Um, he and his dad actually worked on a little fan film of the Princess Bride, and I want to actually show.
The most passionate, the most pure. This one left them all behind. Now I think you ought to go to sleep. Okay. Okay. All right. So long. Grandpa, can you come over tomorrow and read it again? As you wish.
I that is really cute, and sadly, like a couple days after they filmed that, Carl Reiner had passed. But that is, I'm happy we have that. I'm happy we have that scene where they work together. Um, for they're both of them. It's I'm gonna miss both of them. I do miss I miss Carl Reiner's comedy, um, and this sucks. That's I I know the last time I did a show, it was about about another Hollywood legend, but and I don't like doing these tribute shows per se, but the thing about when you have when as a nerd, when you see all these celebrities doing good things, it inspires you to do more for yourself. And I what I want to, I need to do a happy show. I know. uh, I will. I I plan to. I honestly do plan. I have two jobs right now, and and I have to actually figure out when I have time to do these shows. Um, so I'm gonna try to come up with um, So if for the next time, so that so that it counteracts all this sadness that we've been feeling. And thank I shouldn't be saying this, but thank God this is the end of the year. Christmas is in a couple days. Let's get this over with. Let's get 2025 done and over with. Um, let's start anew. And um, what are my inspirations? What do I aspire for in the future for this show? I'm hoping to be in my new space so that I can stop pissing off my husband, and so that he doesn't have to turn down the TV every time I do these shows. um, so yeah, I'm hoping to work on my office in between, work. um, so yeah, that has to happen. Um, Geeky Discoveries might be on a hiatus for a little bit, but I'm gonna try to put aside some time to actually record some episodes so that I can actually post stuff up. Um, there are some things that I do want to touch on, some subjects regarding Canada and our own struggle with fascism and racism. Um, and I know that's a tough subject to touch on, but it does need to be talked about. Um, because guess what? We have more and more fascist group popping up. Um, there was just one that got arrested not that long ago in Montreal, um, stockpiling guns. So yeah, there's that. We had another group pop up. Apparently, they meet at a well-known gym, but it's like, what gym? What gym across Canada do these people meet up at? Which I'm wondering. It could possibly be one of the chain gyms. But it's just fascism doesn't die, unfortunately. Uh, it just it just changes flags, and we need people, we need more people like Rob Reiner, who is gonna be willingly who will speak out against all this. Um, that's what made him such a great ally. Um, him and his wife are going to be greatly missed, and his work will forever live in our minds. And I'm hoping that we continue to appreciate his work. Um, his work deserves to be in a film museum. And let's put it this way: I would love it if there would be a yearly showing of The Princess Bride. I think that because there's a theater here that I live not that far from that shows the Rocky Horror Picture Show on a yearly basis. If not every couple months, there's the Rocky Horror Picture Show celebration. Um, so why not? Why not do that with The Princess Bride? Why not do that with A Few Good Men or Stand By Me? Spinal Tap 2 is coming out soon. uh, So, I'd like to see a big celebration for that film. We need to turn it up to 11 for him. I'm I like I like hanging out with you guys. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm not begging you guys for money. I know you guys have donated in the past, and that's not what I'm trying to get out of you. Although, it's funny because my YouTube channel did grow. I believe I was last time I looked, I was at 669 subscribers. So I reached that. I reached that moment where I had 666 subscribers, and I was happy about that. That was a great moment. Uh, but I wouldn't lie. I would definitely love to have one of those plaques, and I put it like right here. Um, you wouldn't need to beg. No. I am I am monetized on Facebook though. Uh, though it's like a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there that I've noticed. Until I piss Meta off again. I can't promise you that monetization's nice for now, but I can't promise you I'm not gonna piss Meta off. uh, TikTok is a little harder. They have a lot of scam bots. I would be on it right now on live, but I didn't want to fight with any of the trolls tonight. Um, but you know, YouTube keeps changing their monetization uh, rules. Um, so I don't think I'll ever get to that point on YouTube. Twitch as well. If it happens, it happens. I'm not gonna fight with social media just to get a couple bucks. Um, that's why I work. Um, but broadcasting will always be one of my true passions, my first loves, and so I have to figure out uh, what and how uh, to keep this show alive. What do I need to do? How do I do it? And is uh, is pre-recording gonna keep you guys interested, or and you know what? I'm always open for ideas for show ideas. Um, and uh, but I I want I really hope that you guys have a good Christmas. I know I'm a little Grinch when it comes to Christmas time, and although it's funny. I keep thinking, it would be fun to do a fun Christmas special where I sing and wear fancy costumes. One day, one day I'll get there. Um, little short shows are the thing now, I guess. See, yeah. Uh, Okay, so the thing is, I think a lot of people have this in their minds where people have um, a short attention span, but I honestly I honestly don't think it's the fact that people have a short attention span. It's social media making it that way. Um, because oh yeah, let's monetize all the shorter clips and keep showing that, and not do anything for those of us who like to do uh, long-winded videos. uh, Very guilty on that. I'm sorry, but there's shit that needs to be said. Um, but yeah, I like doing the reviews. Donna says, I totally agree with you. We're told that we have a short attention span, so therefore we must have. No, it's. As much as I say that my ADHD makes me forget a lot of shit, yeah, sometimes it does, and yeah, my memory is like a goldfish, where it's like, ooh, bubbles, swim back and ooh, bubbles, um, but you know, everybody has that where we all enter the room for something and then we forget, and then we have to backtrack and figure out what it was that we were in the room for. That doesn't mean that we all have ADHD. It's just shit that a lot of shit sometimes we have going on in our heads that distract us. um, I mean, that's where the money seems to go, yeah. um, but and that's what Facebook and TikTok and even YouTube now are pushing people to do those short clips. But that doesn't help to get any proper information out. Um, I'll still go to YouTube when it comes to news updates. I'll still watch. I'll still watch some of the news programs if there's something that came up that I need to know more details on. Um, People always say that uh, local radio is dying. Here's the thing: there will always be a need for news, uh, regardless of location you are in. Um, when it comes to music streaming, yeah, okay. Uh, do people listen to the radios? Not really, but you still use a form of uh, radio to listen to your music, and I listen to I do Spotify. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Um, when it comes to local radio, I will always tune into my radio, any of the radio stations, if they're giving me proper information. Dune is my favorite short story. Short stories are defined as something you can read in one sitting. I can go through the entire novel in 10 hours. I love that. Um, my problem with local radio is nothing is like all the local radio stations aren't locally owned anymore. It's all corporate, and right across Canada, and they're forcing local radio stations to fail, and that's partly why I haven't gotten into the broadcast. Put myself into the broadcasting industry uh, after graduation, was because I saw how volatile the industry is. First of all, having to go to a small town market to get anywhere is a pain in the ass because one, I grew up in a small town all my life. I'm not moving back. uh, and I'm not gonna move to I'm not gonna move up to Brandon, move my whole life for possibly a job. No, I would rather do this because that way I have more control over what I'm able to say, what I'm able to do, how I do it, and you guys all love it that way. I think Canada shut down all their shortwave broadcasts, and they were very well respected worldwide. When corporate decided to get involved with with a lot of the local stuff, they changed a lot of stuff. They fired a bunch of people who have been working in radio and even television for years, and now they're like they're taking a lot of the local feel to the stations. Like they're now doing live shows and broadcasting it. All of it, like they're picking one or two people to do a live show for all their stations across Canada, and that's not the way to go. That takes away the actual local feel of radio. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. Yes, we do love the way you do your broadcasts. I can only get about 7 radio stations out here, and 4 of them are music that doesn't appeal to me. And that's just it. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, but I'm not a big fan of country." We don't have a proper. We have a country station here. We have a couple rock stations. We have like a easy listening station, but they all seem to change names. Like there's like 3 stations that tend to change names every like 10 years. Um, and it's not, and they don't appeal to the local market anymore because now they've taken all the local broadcasters, uh, and it's all streamed out of Toronto, I believe. We had one station that was like 80s, 90s, and whatever, the Bob FM, and that now turned into some weird comedy channel or something where they play clips of comedy shows, and they wonder why radio they are purposely making radio fail. And it doesn't have to be that way. um, I had hoped to own my own radio station. But with corporate stepping in, yeah, like there's, I think 3. Okay, Rogers. Uh, Virgin owns like a whole bunch of them, uh, and I think Chorus owns a bunch of radio stations across Canada. Can't get away from any of them. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of an inside look into my chosen path. Um, I, I see it on a constant basis though, where people who've been in the industry for decades, lo- uh, they lose their jobs because downsizing. The best signal I can get is from one who plays what was fresh and new on MTV in his last one uh, first 3 years. Another is a local college station. The other might as well be a pirate radio. I can really, yeah. I mean, we have a couple college stations as well here. Um, I guess I could put myself on it, but again, that requires that kind of requires me to leave my home and go to the college campus and broadcast from there. And I don't know what their setup is like. Last time I actually did that, I helped one of my friends out with their show, um, and it was kind of outdated, uh, outdated equipment. Which I mean, I guess you're gonna have to suck it up when you're using like donated product. Uh, I want to bring you guys good content. Please let me know what you guys want to see in 2026. Uh, and we have the multiverse fundraiser coming up. So I look forward to that. Some changes might come a little bit too with the way you see me broadcast. StreamYard is being douchebags, and they don't want us to get the 50% discount unless you're a new member. So I might end up being forced to use a different program for my broadcast. But you know, we'll see. I mean, I don't often have that many guests on my show anyway, but uh, Carl, you're gonna have to probably teach me how to use OBS properly. um, but I'm hoping to broadcast a little bit more on TikTok as well with my show, but we'll see what happens in the new year. You guys have a wonderful Christmas. Please keep. Oh, OBS is upgrading. Oh, excellent. I look forward to seeing that. I need an. Speaking of upgrades, I need an upgrade on my computer. So we'll see. Maybe Santa Claus will be nice and get me Windows 11. Uh, yeah. Don't we all? Yeah. Um, but yeah, Christmas is coming up. I look forward to spending time with family, and I will try to reconnect with you guys in the new year. And I look forward to seeing your guys' photos and uh, stories of what you did. Um, be good. Be good to each other. Okay. Rob Reiner would want it that way. Okay. Uh, he One of his quotes was he lives by the golden rule. Do unto others as you would do unto as you would do unto others as you would do unto. Oh, I can't remember that quote now. Just remember the golden rule. Just be good to each other, because and the way I interpret the golden rule is, if people treat you like garbage, then they should expect to get that back tenfold. Um, but yeah, treat others with treat yourself with respect too. You deserve it. Okay. I love you guys. Have a good night. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being there for me. I appreciate you guys.
My name is Mark Weiss, and I am the founder and president of an organization called Comic Books for Kids. 6 years ago this month, we embarked on a journey of passion and heart. Our goal was to make a difference for children in hospitals and cancer centers. Little could we have ever imagined the response we have now. Starting with just hopes and dreams, we had no money for our mission. We had no product to give to the hospitals, and we had only called a couple hospitals and asked them, if we were to provide you with comic books, would you be interested? And they said yes. So we embarked on a 1-year journey to make a difference for these kids. We realized that even though we can't take away the reason these children are in hospitals, we can perhaps, while they are there, let them fly like a superhero, be princes and princesses, and embark on a mystical and magical journey to take them away from where they are in that hospital bed. Today, and thanks to your support, we are thrilled to say that we are now the largest charity in the U.S., supporting well over 200 hospitals in all 50 states for not only comic books, but for other pop culture items like Funko Pops, action figures, coloring books, Spanish bilingual items, backpacks, and more. When we received materials that were inappropriate for the young ones, we started a sister charity called Comic Book for Truth. And overnight, we became the largest charity in the U.S. for these same items to all branches of the military. We want to thank our friends for providing us their support and for allowing us the means to make so many happy with their gracious give to us.